guys? Happy weekend. It's Chunky C. Wanted to do a little quick video, hopefully a quick video about what I found with this app on this Goosky S1 and the Bluetooth module. Had a comment on there on one of my last videos and we got to discussing back and forth, and I said I might make a video on this, and they kind of said that would be a good idea. It would help them out a lot because they are actually looking into maybe getting one of these, and they're very interested in the heli, but they wanted to know what I run across. So this video is for Mikey across the pond. I hope it helps you out. Mike Bird, he's got a YouTube channel. I'll put a link up there to his YouTube channel. Check him out, spread a little bit of love, show Mike some appreciation. He's got a great channel over there. He's doing a lot of cool stuff. But I'm gonna try to break this down as best as I can. So the iOS part of this app, the actual iPhone, if you have an iPhone, I don't think you're going to have as many problems as the Android users, because here I've got my wife's spare. It's an iPhone 8. Not sure what iOS it's running, but it's up to date with whatever it is. Both of my phones are up to date, but I'm going to show you guys how to hook this up. So I've already downloaded the Goosky app for iOS. I downloaded it from the App Store, the Apple App Store. So what you want to do is, they say you need to make sure that the app is on first. So you turn your app on. Hope you guys can kind of see that. And when you plug your battery in, now also for reference, my radio or my transmitter is turned on. It's kind of off to the side over here out of the screen, but it's on, so that when I plug the battery in, I've got my throttle cut and everything. So, and it also says in the manual for the Bluetooth to make sure that the radio is on. So we're going to cut it on. We're going to set it down. We're going to let it initialize, do its thing. Alright, and it did its little thing there, and you notice we got a blue light flashing on the Bluetooth. So what you want to do, a lot of people will want to immediately kind of, just like, and I don't really know why they do this. This is where I was screwing up on the iPhone and the Android, but anytime, when you buy a Bluetooth product, the first thing you do when you connect it to your phone is you go into settings, you go into Bluetooth, and you let it scan, and you would see it right here. I don't know if you can read that or not, but right now it just says Android on it. It doesn't say iOS. That's where I was screwing up. It doesn't say iOS, and I'll show you more about that on my Samsung Note. I have a Note 10 over here that I'm going to show you a little bit. But I think where I was screwing up is I just saw Goosky, and I didn't read the Android. So when I was clicking on this, it wasn't pairing up. And when I was on my Android, sometimes it would, sometimes it wouldn't. That's because sometimes I was clicking on the one that says Goosky Android. Sometimes I was clicking on one that says Goosky iOS. But this is not where you want to be, so don't even go into your phone settings. So we're going to back out of all of this, and we're just going to go into the app. Okay, so when you go into the app for the iPhone, you'll see a scan little button down here. So what you'll do is you'll hit scan. So now you'll see a list of devices here. You'll notice one of them right here. Let me get this little pointer. One of them right here says Goosky iOS. That's going to be the one you want to click on. Sometimes it'll pop up too. It'll say Goosky iOS and it'll say Goosky Android. It'll show both of those. So apparently this Bluetooth puts out two different, I don't know if it's signals or two different algorithms. I'm not sure. But anyway, so the Goosky iOS, that's what you want. So you select that. You'll get a green that says connected. So you go back to home. If I can get it to go back. Alright. You hit start, and you'll notice, see if I can get in here a little closer, you've got a voltage reading right there. So that's how you know you're connected. So if you go down here to mechanical settings, you hit mechanical settings, and up here on the top you'll see servo center. If you hit that, let me see if I can get this heli into view here. So if I hit that, when it'll turn it on, you might see the head move. You see it going back and forth. It's a very minimal amount. When you turn that off and on, if your swash plate is going up to a level so that you can do your servo center, then you know you're connected. So let's say this is where I was running into a problem with the Android. So let's say, you know, you go fly, you disconnect your Bluetooth or whatever, you come back, you make your adjustments, you come back and you change batteries, and you disconnect your battery, you put a new battery in, and power your heli back up. You've got your blue light flashing. So now if you need to make another connection, you need to, or if you need to make any more corrections, you need to reconnect. So you go back into your Goosky app, you see it says reconnection, and it reconnected. Now if you don't get that, you can hit scan and it'll pull it back up over here. It's at the top of the list here, Goosky iOS. Always make sure you hit the iOS for your Apple. Okay, so I'm gonna connect on that. Let's see if it connects. Whoops, it's got a timeout. So I'm going to go home. Actually, let me just close this out one time and reopen it. So hit scan. There's my iOS. And we're connected. Blue light is solid. And if I go back home, hit start, I've got voltage. Go into mechanical settings, hit servo center, and I can see my swash plate going up and down. So the iOS version, the Apple version, doesn't seem to be as quirky as the Android. I had a little bit of problem with the Android. This is my Android right here. So with this, like I said, first thing everybody wants to do is they want to go into settings, and you want to go into connections and Bluetooth, and you'll scroll through and you'll see, when it starts scanning, when you're plugged in, it'll show up. So let's plug this back in here. So let's see if it'll scan it. Let me hit scan again here because it stopped scanning. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. We'll just have to see what happens. Well, this time, there it is. Goosky iOS. See guys, it came up iOS. That is a problem because it didn't pull up the Android part, but it pulled up the iOS. You can click on that and it won't do anything. So but you don't need to go into that anyway. So what you want to do, open up your iOS app, or not your iOS, your Android app, and it's pretty much identical. You just hit the scan button on the bottom and just let it scan. So now right here you see Goosky Android. It'll say Android mine, and then the numbers are just a serial number for whatever your Bluetooth is, whatever its identification number is. If you click on that, touch it, okay, so our light has gone solid. Go into perimeter tuning, we have a voltage. Go into mechanical setting, and when I hit off and on, my swash plate moves. Okay, that's all great. Alright, everything connected, as advertised. So let's say we did our adjustments and we go fly, And when we're done, we disconnect our battery, right? Put a new battery in, fire up the helicopter, and you see the blue light is flashing again. Well, when you go back into your Goosky app, let me back out of it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to completely close it out, and I'm going to go back into it. If you hit scan again, and you wait, you'll notice it does not populate back in the list of Bluetooth. You could sit here 5 or 10 minutes and it won't ever come back up. This is where I had a major problem trying to get it to pair up. Besides, not doing a fundamental thing like actually reading what I was clicking on. So here's the fix for this that I found. This is what some of you may run into. So here's the fix that I found. So I'm going to close that out. I'm going to go to settings, I'm going to go into connections, and I'm going to go to Bluetooth. So if you notice in Bluetooth, at the very top of the list you have Goosky, Android, and whatever your serial number is or whatever your identification number is. For some reason, it will not show up in the app if you have previously paired it. Until they get this fixed, the only thing that I can see, hit this little gear icon right here, and it'll pull this up, and down here in the bottom you'll see unpair. If you hit unpair, select unpair again to verify, it'll take it out of the list. Okay, then you go back into your Goosky app, and we should see it populate. Yep, right there it is, Goosky Android. Oh, see there right there, it also populated iOS. So I have a Goosky Android and a Goosky iOS. So whichever one was popping up first, which was more than likely the Goosky iOS, is what I was clicking on, and that's why I was having a hard time pairing with it and being able to use the app, because all I saw was Goosky pop up and I clicked on it like a big dummy and was scratching my head wondering why it wasn't working. So if you hit Android, let it do its thing, let it connect. Hell, how about that? It said Bluetooth connection failed. Let's try it again. Well, the iOS is popping back up. But, as you see, I'm not getting the Goosky Android. So let's do this just for fun. I'm gonna close all these out. I'm a sucker for closing out stuff as I go. I don't like a bunch of apps running in the background. We'll go back into connections, go back into Bluetooth, and there it is at the top of the list again. And you noticed it didn't populate on the list in the app. So we're going to go back into here, unpair, okay. Go back into the app here, rescan, and let's see if it pops back up. Yep, right there it is. So we're going to hit Goosky again, Android version, connection successful, parameter tuning, we got voltage. Go down here, mechanical setting, and off and on. Okay, my swash plate's moving. So if anybody from Goosky happens to see this video, you guys really need to work on this app for Android. The iOS works fine. I'm not sure where the malfunction is laying, if it's with Android or if it's with the Goosky app. But that's kind of, I mean, it's not terrible. It's a couple of clicks that you got to go through to make it work. But you know, when you're in the middle of flying your heli, if this was a big heli or really anything, if you're in the middle of flying anything and you set it on the ground and you want to go in and just make a couple corrections and you have to keep going in and unpairing and then repairing, it's just kind of a pain in the butt, in my opinion. I mean, it works. I've set up the heli with it. I've made some adjustments with it, but they really need to work on this and get this bug figured out. And you know, so that customers, because it's not like, I mean, there's a lot of Apple users out there, but there's also a lot of Android users. So in my opinion, Goosky is kind of shooting themselves in the foot right now with this crazy app that they've got going on here. But that's what I found. Maybe that'll help somebody else out. Maybe I don't know, Mike, I hope that helps you if you get it. I don't know if you have an Apple phone or an Android, but maybe that'll help somebody out. But guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go finish charging some batteries. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, but I think I'm gonna still try to go out and hover a little bit and do some other work around the house. But I hope you guys have a good weekend. And if it's beautiful weather, guys, get out and fly. Put something in the air, and until next time, I'll talk to you later. Peace.